a real nasty looking villain, hoodlums doing shots, an animated character loses his towel, a super spy shrinks everywhere, and of course, there's some violence. These are some of the things that contribute to the PG rating for the 2019 movie Spies in Disguise. But don't worry, there's always kitty glitter. Hi, I'm Tom Pizzato from SpyMovieNavigator.com, where we're cracking the code for spy movies for kids. Thanks for joining us today. I know it can get confusing to try to understand why a movie has a specific rating. Let's spend a few minutes to crack the code of the 2019 spy movie Spies in Disguise and take a look at why it got a PG rating. I'm assuming you're a parent watching this to understand why the movie received a PG rating, to understand its appropriateness for your child. To get you there, I'll include a couple spoilers. I'll include some clips from the movie to help you determine if this is the right movie for your kid. Also, we'll look at how this movie was rated on CommonSenseMedia.org's website. Now, we have no affiliation with CommonSenseMedia.org. However, I like to go there because it is a site where parents can share their views about a movie. So we'll let you understand what some of those views are. With that, let's jump into our look at Spies in Disguise. Now, we did a full podcast on this in December of 2019. Today, we're going to just look at why it got its rating. We didn't look at that in the initial podcast. The description of the movie from the 20th Century website is, in this high-flying animated comedy, super spy Lance Sterling, voiced by Will Smith, and scientist Walter Beckett, voiced by Tom Holland, are almost exact opposites. Lance is smooth, suave, and debonair. Walter is none of the above. But this unlikely duo must team up for the ultimate mission to save the world. It's an animated movie, and the animation is done very, very well. The soundtrack on this movie I really like. There are some parents on CommonSenseMedia.org who said they thought it was too edgy, but I really liked it. The story starts off with a boy named Walter, who's having a discussion with his mother about being weird. In fact, his mother helps him embrace his weirdness. And I love this message because it really hits home on the message that we can be different, but we all have our strengths. I think they do that very well in this movie. Now, Walter's mother dies in this movie, although you don't see it. She's a police officer who dies in the line of duty. I kind of look at it like Bambi and Bambi's mother. Bambi's mother dies, but we don't really see it, and Bambi goes on. Walter goes on in this movie. Then the movie jumps to a scene with Lance on a mission. This scene has some henchmen in it that we'll talk about later. This is a nice action scene, and it sets up why Lance and Walter end up together as a team when a device Lance uses unexpectedly turns out to be one of Walter's non-violent devices. Lance goes to see Walter to discuss the situation. Then the movie jumps to Walter as a young adult who's a science geek, so they really play up the geek part. Remember I said they play up his weirdness in the beginning. Now, Walter wants to stop crime and to do it using non-violent means. So he creates a lot of fun gadgets to make this happen. The gadgets are non-violent, yet they're still effective at stopping crime. To give you an idea, one gadget is called the inflatable hug. Another one's called kitty glitter. That gives you an idea of the level we're talking about here. But they are effective, and they are non-violent means to solving a problem. Walter's key gadget in this movie, however, is a potion that turns a human into a pigeon. Lance, the super spy, accidentally drinks this potion and turns into the pigeon. The bulk of this movie is about how the two of them solve a caper with Lance as a pigeon needing Walter's help. So why is this movie rated PG? Well, it's rated PG by the MPAA for action, violence, and rude humor. So for the violence, there's a bad guy in this movie. He blows some things up. There are a couple fights, but most of the rough stuff is handled off screen. I saw this movie in a theater, and I asked kids for their reaction right when the movie was done. And there was this very little child, he must have been 5, that's a guess, who said that he really didn't like the movie because there was a bad guy in it. But then the bad guy got caught, so it was okay, and he liked it. So I thought that was kind of interesting from when you're looking at age appropriateness for the movie. Other than that, I got very positive reactions from the kids. For the language used in this movie, there isn't a whole lot to be worried about. However, there was one use of the word crap. You can make your own determination on that one. There were also 2 or 3 uses of the word suck in terms of this is going to suck. Also, there were a couple hell yeahs, and Lance says shut up a few times. So that's it in terms of the language. There are 3 scenes that I would put into the rude humor department. The first is when after Lance drinks the potion, he turns into a pigeon. So he leaves his human form and shrinks down into a pigeon. And as he starts shrinking, he looks down his pants and shrieks. Baby. You can go to YouTube and just look for the Spies in Disguise trailer. The second trailer actually has that clip in it. There's also a scene where an obese character's towel falls down and you see his backside. Now, this guy's really fat. He's got lots of folds. There's tattoos. It's an animation, so it's not, super specific, if you will. Now, when I saw this in the movie theater, the kids just laughed on it. They thought it was really funny. Here's a clip of it if you're watching the video, so you can take a look at it. If you're listening to the audio, you can go to YouTube, search for Spies in Disguise Katsu, Katsu. That's the name of the character, Katsu Kimura. Again, all the kids were laughing when they saw it. Take a look at it to see what you think. On commonsensemedia.org, this was probably the biggest issue parents had with the movie. The last rude humor, if you will, is when Lance transforms from a pigeon back to a human, he doesn't have any clothes on. And so he's naked. Now, they don't show you anything. You see from waist up. There were some parents who commented on it. commonsensemedia.org gives this movie 4 stars and rates it for ages 8+. The parents on the site averaged 3 stars and said it averaged to age 10+. The kids gave it 4 stars and say it's for ages 8+. Common Sense Media also gives this movie their selection seal for families. So I was kind of impressed with that. This is one of the spy movies for kids that I think a parent would actually enjoy watching. Some of them I'm not sure that you would. So the negative parent reviews are focused on the nudity. Again, take a look at the clip, see what you think. There's a very wide range here in how parents took this. On commonsensemedia.org, there was one parent who rated this movie for ages 18+ because of the nudity. They actually called it pornographic. Yet another parent rated it for ages 5+. So take a look at the scenes here and make your own choice, what you think is the appropriateness for your child. This is a spy movie, so there's the obligatory martini, a champagne glass. There's a scene where henchmen are doing shots. So again, depending on if that's an issue for you, you know it's there. So overall, we think this was a very fun, kind of a spoof on James Bond, Mission Impossible, and that type of movie. So thanks for helping us crack the code of this spy movie. We hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully this was helpful for you in understanding the appropriateness of this movie for your child. Let me know if this was helpful, and if there are other movies you'd love to hear from us on. You can leave us a message at info@spymovienavigator.com. This podcast is also available as a video on the YouTube channel Cracking the Code of Spy Movies, as well as on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it.